Hey friends, welcome to Just the Gems. I'm Brandon, and this is the first episode of The Stack of Shame. But before we begin, I want to ask, beg, plead, and implore you. Click that like button. And why not subscribe while you're at it? And if you don't mind, if you feel like we might jive well together, that we're simpatico, would you mind sharing this video on social media with your friends, anywhere that you interact with other human beings? Starting a YouTube channel is proving to be very difficult, so I would really appreciate any help you might be able to give me. I'll thank you in advance. So what is the Stack of Shame, you might be asking? That's a good question. Well, the Stack of Shame refers to my collection of purchased, physical, unplayed JRPGs. So before I reveal it, I just want to tell you a little bit about my collecting journey. Before 2.5 years ago, I really didn't have that many video games. I've played video games since I was 3. I've loved video games, especially JRPGs, since I could barely talk, okay? So this has been a lifelong journey for me, but like a lot of people, as time went on, I wanted the newest, the best, brand new games. So I would trade off or sell. I still remember when I sold my copy of Chrono Trigger, along with the player's guide, in the newspaper, of all things. It's maybe dating me a little bit, for $40. $40. Anyway, I really wasn't collecting games. I had a handful that I have kept pretty much since I bought them. Chrono Cross, I never got rid of. Xenogears, I kept. Just a very small handful of games that were particularly meaningful to me. But the rest of them, I said, hit the road. All right? That 3D dot game, Heroes, looks pretty cool. It was just okay. Fast forward to, like I said, about 2.5 years ago, when I suddenly realized, oh, I really do like video games, and I really do wish that I could play them, you know? And the world's been moving more and more in the digital direction. People will have vast collections of video games and not have a single box, a single instruction booklet laying around the house. And to that, I say more power to you. I respect the hustle of gathering every single video game available on the Steam sale every year. I've done a little bit of that myself. But there was something about having a physical game in my hand with an instruction booklet, back in the day at least, having the physical artifact that just felt meaningful to me. So I decided, as a first step in my collecting journey, that I would repurchase every Super Nintendo game that I had as a kid. And that took me, I don't know, a month and a half, okay? Hitting eBay, game stores, all across northern Illinois and northwest Indiana. And I thought, hey, this is probably going to satisfy this weird new feeling that I have. It was a midlife crisis. But ultimately, it didn't. I still wanted more. So I started buying more. And I didn't make any kind of record of this journey. I just bought and bought and bought a ton of games until I had the collection that I'm about to show you. Now, the problem with being nearly 40 and collecting video games is, maybe you'll guess it, not having time to play them. Yeah, I mean, Netflix isn't going to binge itself. But seriously, there are so many games in this collection, and I just have not taken the time to play them. So, like I said in probably other videos at this point, the reason that I started this channel is to motivate myself via public pressure to start chipping away at this backlog. Find ways to enjoy these games that I've spent all this time and money bringing together. Find ways to enjoy all these games that I spent so much time and money collecting. And And here we are, present day. I don't have an exact count of games. I built, well, you'll see what I mean. I built the collection physically, literally, behind me. You'll see it in a minute. I didn't count them as I was doing it. Maybe I should have. But we're in the 150 to 200 range easily. Anyway, without further ado, here's the stack of shame. Oh boy, that was quite the dramatic reveal. Pablo, what do you think about all this? Yeah, that's about what I expected. So this is it. Quite a lot of games here, as you may have noticed. I had originally started out trying to build a pyramid. I thought that'll look pretty cool. And then I realized all of these games are in such different size boxes. It just wasn't going to work. So I went with the more traditional castle wall approach. As you can see, at least I started out that way. And then as we progressed, you'll notice that the varying sizes of the boxes really got the better of me, and we just ended up with a mishmash of nonsense. So this collection here amounts to about 2 years worth of collecting. I did not follow all of the best advice that you can find from collecting YouTubers online. I did a very poor job of being budget conscious, looking for great deals. I found maybe 3 things ever of any value at a garage sale, but I did use eBay a lot, and I did have a great time buying all of these games. So did Pablo. I'm just kidding, he had nothing to do with it. And before somebody chimes in, well, that's not that many games for 2 years of collecting, keep in mind, I'm talking about the games that I have not played. What you're looking at now is a selection of the rest of the games that I own. And besides that, I have a lot of games actually that aren't JRPGs. I like a lot of the classic games, the Marios, the Zeldas, etc.s, and I like horror games in particular, so you may see a lot of that sort of thing on my shelf. That's not going to be part of the Stack of Shame, regardless of whether I played it or not. Whew. So I'm tired. You want to make a 40-year-old man sweat? Ask him to do some very, very, very light stacking of DVD cases for 20 minutes. Get a good sweat going. Just came home from the gym. As much as I would like to take you through each and every one of these games and provide some insightful and colorful and, dare I say it, humorous commentary, we'll be here all night if I do that. And some of us have work in the morning, so instead of doing it that way, we're going to be smart and we're going to break this up. This week, episode 1, we'll be covering just one console. And that console is the Nintendo Switch. Now, I've just played an incredibly high-stakes game of Jenga, extracting these games here, so let's take a look at every JRPG in my collection for the Nintendo Switch that I have not played. First up, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Sharp FE Encore. Just rolls off the tongue. I don't know a ton about this game except that it is sort of part of the SMT Shin Megami Tensei franchise. You can tell they decided to be clever about it. Instead of SMT, the abbreviation is TMS. So they gave it some thought. I guess you save Tokyo with the power of performance. That sounds like it will not be cringy in the least. I cannot wait to play it alone in my basement with my headphones on. so that no one else can hear me. Mary Skelter 2. And this game, I believe, also includes the original Mary Skelter, which I had wanted to get on the Vita, but like many Vita role-playing games, is now $10 million. So I'm happy to have this on the Switch so that I can play the first two games. This looks like a dungeon crawler. Not usually my style, but I don't know. This looks like stupid gothic horror. And occasionally I'm in the mood for something that's just kind of goofy gothic horror. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this one out at some point. Along the same lines, I also have Mary Skelter Finale, which, as the title suggests, is the finale of Mary Skelter. This includes a bonus romantic visual novel, by the way. So I don't know what that means. The Blood Maidens are going to live happily ever after. There's larval swarms. I don't know. Should be fun. Next up, Rune Factory 4 Special. I have never played a Rune Factory game. I know that it was spun off from the Harvest Moon franchise, and there was a whole legal snafu where Harvest Moon is owned by, I don't know if it's Natsume or what company it is that actually owns it. The original company that made Harvest Moon lost the rights to the name, so they have created the series Story of Seasons. And Harvest Moon continues under this new company, and apparently it sucks. I don't know. I played Harvest Moon 64, and it was fine. But anyway, Rune Factory is a little more of a fantasy take on the farming genre. There's some action. It's described as a thrilling fantasy adventure here on the back of the box. It's by Xseed, which I have a lot of respect for the work that Xseed has done in the localization space. I'm going to admit that for years and years, I did not realize Xseed, Xseed, was saying exceed, like to do more than. And I don't know, just a piece of trivia for you about how stupid I am. Next up, a release from Limited Run Games, Golf Story. This is a role-playing game where you play golf. So I'm, drawn in on the one hand, and then just fully repelled on the other. The shrink wrap is still on this bad boy, so you can tell that I haven't been super eager to dive in. I've heard it's good. I've heard it's very good. So I'm sure that I'll check it out eventually. I couldn't sell it for full price anyway because we got a tear here in the shrink wrap, but that's fine. Not looking to sell right now. So, Golf Story. Golf. Eastward. This is another one that just kind of caught my eye. I don't know a ton about it. It kind of sort of looks like Earthbound, and I've heard it compared favorably to Zelda. I mean, every top-down action-adventure game with puzzles gets compared to Zelda, but, with the sort of Earthbound-esque aesthetics, I'm interested, so we'll see. Saturday Morning RPG. So this was a release from Mighty Rabbit. I think that was the company that eventually became Limited Run Games. I might be completely wrong on that. Maybe I'll research this before I put it live and correct myself if I'm wrong, but you'll probably know by now. And yeah, this is just a game. I think I actually did play a tiny bit of this on mobile back in 2013 or something. At least I think it was the same game. I think it was called Saturday Morning RPG. But yeah, it just looks like a bunch of tropes that only 90s kids will remember. So, I don't know. Could be fun. Death End Request. They sure do know how to name a game. They name the heck out of these games, don't they? Death End Quest. So, this is a video game about people that get trapped in a virtual world. It's really it's a big genre, especially in Japan. I don't know a ton. I guess I keep saying that. Obviously I don't know a ton. I haven't opened these. So, Death End Request. And with it, Death End Request 2 because I could not bear the thought of not getting a chance to play the sequel to the game that I haven't played. Will the darkness consume her? I'm guessing no. I don't know. Probably she'll be fine. Here is Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town. Like I mentioned earlier with the Harvest Moon scenario, this is the continuation of Harvest Moon. I think this is maybe a remake of an earlier Harvest Moon. It says Return to Mineral Town on the back here, so I'm guessing. I might try to get my wife to play this one with me because she did seem to have a good time with Stardew Valley. And she also really loves Animal Crossing, so these kind of life simulator things are up her alley. And maybe we can bond over that. Honey, if you're watching this, at some point I may force you to play this game. And last but not least, actually far from least, because look at this stupid thing. We've got Shin Megami Tensei 5, The Fall of Man Premium Edition. This is a big boy. This is a big boy here. It comes with a bag, which I need another Persona Shin Megami Tensei bag. I've got the Persona 5 one back over there. Collecting dust. Looks like some kind of a book, steel case, CD, soundtrack. Yeah, I mean, I've heard basically nothing but good things about SMT5. I really enjoyed SMT3 for the PlayStation 2. I know there's a remaster out. I have not tried it yet. I don't think I even have it yet. No, I almost bought it, but I didn't. I'm really interested in checking out the remaster just to see what they did with it. But the nice thing about the PlayStation 2 game is that the art style holds up so well, you don't even really need to remaster it. It looks good, like today. I really enjoyed 3. I tried to play 4. I just could not get into it. I was intrigued by the story for the first, 5 or 6 hours that I played. But at some point I got lost and there was no help. Like maybe I put it down for a few days and came back to it, had no idea where to go or what to do. I probably spent 2 hours trying to find my way, gave up and never went back to it. I'm hoping that 5 treats me a little bit better. I have a feeling it will. We'll see. But yeah, that's my current Switch RPG collection that I have not touched. In the future, episodes of the Stack of Shame will probably feature, either different consoles or maybe even more than one console at a time. I just didn't want to overwhelm with too much content for one video because we had the whole preamble and the setup and the collection story and the nauseating video where my professional camera skills made you all throw up. So anyway, I would love to hear in the comments what are some of the Switch role-playing games that you are looking forward to trying. That might inadvertently add some games to my list that I will buy and then put on the shelf and then feel guilty about not playing. So please do me that favor. And until next time, bye-bye.